Shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. Brother Nakwam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and our glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Malak Yahushai, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of Hamashiach, Malak Yahushai. A hearty, mighty shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, being submissive and diligent, and those who may not be married or those who tend upon the Lord without distraction. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the ancient men, children, and everybody tuning in live on this beautiful Monday Night Fire, Quad Israel 23, Jeremiah Bani Asha'Allah, Brother Believe, T. Sellers, Yafei Israel, Don Israel, Benjamin Youngwolf, T. Sellers, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. I mean, all hell is pretty much breaking loose in the earth. You know, World War III tensions are at an all-time high. World War III has been trending on social media on various platforms for the past 2 days, with other topics that relate Middle East, Iran, Tehran, right? Based off of what's been going on out there in the so-called Middle East. If you've been watching, which we encourage, or the Most High commands everyone to, and we exhort our brethren to as well. If you are watching, you would see that 3 so-called U.S. soldiers were put to death, right, by the Most High. And the Most High used these so-called militia groups, the Houthis, Hezbollah, these Iranian-backed militia groups, to kill 3 American soldiers, right? So you have Biden and a lot of these senators and a lot of these leaders of the West pushing for war. They want war. They said, look, our attack is going to be heavy and deadly. It's an attack Iran directly. And they're saying that we could be wrong, but, last time I watched, they're saying that anywhere between now and later this evening, you can expect to see something go down. Right now, whether that remains to be true or not, but nevertheless, the Most High has things heating up out there in the so-called Middle East, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and 28. Right? The Most High has spirits out there created for vengeance. Right? This Ecclesiasticus, chapter 39 and verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. So, believe it or not, the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Avashai has a league of angels, an army of angels in the third heaven. And some of these angels are set up for payback, for vengeance, to reward man according to their works. So when man is a murderer, or nations, right, build up kingdoms on robbery and theft, lies, man stealing, extortion, and murder, the Most High has spirits that he reserves to destroy those nations for the wickedness that they have done on the earth. And that's why you have so much war and destruction going on in the earth now, chiefly America being involved along with the so-called Middle East, right? Because these are spirits created for vengeance. Verse 29, fire and hell, famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So you have wildfires, you have explosions, you have nuclear fire, you have arson, you have spontaneous combustion, you have you got gas fires, all fires that destroy man. The Most High did these things for judgment, right? So you have fire and hell, hailstorms, mudslides, natural disasters are controlled by the Most High, right? It also says, and famine. So when your crops can't grow, when the Most High sends the mildew and the blasting, and you can't seem to get any rain, the Most High has an angel manipulating the elements and causing heaven above to cease, man, from pouring down rain on your crops, right? It also reads, and death. And there's 1,000 ways to die. That's the famous saying. Rather your hand gets stuck in a meat grinder, rather you press a button and it launches off a nuclear missile, or rather you're 3 American soldiers and you get shot by Iranian troops, man, or drones or mines or whatever the case may be, right? It reads, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. So you got teeth of wild beasts. You got people being attacked by lions, right? The Most High has tigers and wild beasts, scorpions. The word I want here, it says, and the sword. And the sword is punishing the wicked to destruction. Every nation is sharpening their sword, right? Iran is sharpening their sword. They're saying Iran right now. Salaki. Shalom, King. Yeah, they're saying Iran right now is sharpening their sword, man. They're saying they're on red alert. Babylon the Great, they're sharpening their sword. Russia, they're sharpening their sword. The EU said we want to do a military operation in a Red Sea. Everybody's sharpening their sword, but the Most High, he's doing this to punish the wicked to destruction, man. So with so much destruction on the earth, we have to know how we are going to survive in the days that we live in now and the days to come. What works and what faith do we have to have in order to endure and survive Armageddon, which is the final battle between good and evil, between the forces of man and the armies of the earth and against Yahweh Shah, right? But you got it, King.
Khan, Shalom, Israel. Let me bring out this quick precept through the spirit. And like the brother is going into what manner of man, women, and children must ye ought to beat in the last days, man. You got to be on fire, diligent, steadfast, abounding in the work of the Most High, right? And above all, you have to fear the Most High and have faith. All right, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, and I'm going to start at verse number 17. Or if I bring a sword upon the land, that say, sword, go through the land so that I cut off man and beast from it. And the Lord can send a sword through your land. And when that sword gets split throughout your land, that's all type of bombs, right? All type of missiles, tanks, drones, soldiers, right? All type of men that are going to come and snatch you up and or kill you. Though these 3 men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord God, they shall deliver neither sons nor daughters. Right? I mean, you may be only able in that last day to save yourself by your works. Don't just think that your household is going to be saved. Hey, the Lord may split you up in your household, man. Your wife may be somewhere in Delaware. You may be in Detroit, right? Your children, tumults in cities and uprisings and storms and all hell may break loose. You may not ever see your children again. You may not ever see your wife again. It says this. It says, though these 3 men were in it, as I live, saith the Lord God, they shall neither, Salakia, deliver neither sons nor daughters, but there only shall be delivered themselves. Or if I send a pestilence into that land and pour out my fury upon it in blood to cut off from it man and beast, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord God, they shall neither, Salakia, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter, they shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness. So we got to all obtain and be moving in the spirit of righteousness in the last days. You got it, King.
Yeah, and really, if you understand how many people are going to die, once you understand how much destruction is going to be on the earth, and that fear of the Lord kicks in, it's going to drive you to do the most for Yahweh Bashmir Shah and for your own salvation, man. Right? Let me get this precept. Right? This the book of Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter. Right? This is Habakkuk, because a lot of our forefathers, they saw the end of the world. Right? And many prophecies, although they're written differently and in different time periods, they're the exact same vision. Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, is the same vision as Isaiah, the 63rd chapter, or Isaiah, the 66th chapter, or Revelation, the 19th chapter. All of those chapters are the same chapter as 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Ezra, Isaiah, you understand? John the Revelator, a lot of our prophets, the Most High showed them the return of Yahweh Shah. Right now, here's something that Habakkuk, first let me get this, right? This Amos, chapter 5, right, and verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on a wall and a serpent bit him. Should not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? The Most High said it's going to be no brightness, man. Even very dark. And you can't even imagine pitch black, trumpet blowing, lightning and thunder, exceeding sounding trumpet, Yahweh Shah returning, man. Right? You can't even imagine that. Bloodshed everywhere, chariots zapping and killing everybody. So, yeah, we look forward to the return of Yahweh Shah, but we don't even know if we're going to make it, man. Nobody knows if they have a spot guaranteed. Now, the Lord was getting on wicked Israel at the time, Northern Kingdom, who was kicking their feet up and relaxing and enjoying the pleasures of the world. But also, that's something that we also have to put into perspective. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Right? We always go into, okay, Yahweh Shah is going to destroy the nations. Yahweh Shah is destroying 2/3 of Israel too, man. Right? And we don't know. We dare make not ourselves for that number. That's why we have to be diligent to make our calling and election sure. We're going to go into ways to survive these last days. We're not going to tell you to get AA batteries or AAA batteries. Okay, do you get rubbing alcohol or do you get 2 bottles of peroxide? Okay, do you get the spring water? Do you get the purified water? Do you get a big bug out bag or do you get the small pocket size one that's easy to just dispose? No, man. We're going into the spiritual ways to survive Armageddon and the days that draw nigh. Because once these bombs, one more point, once these bombs start hitting the earth, Jake is going to really try to get right. And like we always say, Jake, you're going to take your garment off or out your closet. You're going to shake it off. You're going to iron it. You're going to cut off them little pieces that's connected to your fringes. You know, you might put a menorah on there or a dove. You're going to polish your boots. You're going to get that polish, all black polish. You're going to start polishing your boots. You're going to act like you've always been in this thing. A lot of sisters, you're going to try to hurry up and figure out how to cut your pants and turn it to a dress. You know, you're going to get your head wrap on, take your bed sheet, cut a piece off, and you're going to act like you've always been in this thing. It's time to get right now, man. Right? It's time to get right now. This is the book of Habakkuk, right? Chapter 3, and I'm going to start at verse 15. Habakkuk chapter 3 and 15. I mean, this whole chapter is mighty, right? But I'm going to read verse 15. Thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses and through the heap of great waters. So it's speaking about Yahweh Shah walking through the sea, meaning he's destroying all of these nations. The heap of great waters are all of the nations that come against Yahweh Shah. Habakkuk is figuratively speaking about the return of Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and he's seeing a lot of destruction. Here's the point in verse 16. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. So Habakkuk said, when I heard this, he was trembling, man. He saw. We're talking. He was sitting up there, right? Like you see something or deer in the headlights and you're shaking. And he was a man of the Lord, man. He was righteous. He was one of the elect. And he saw the destruction from the chariots. He's sitting up there shaking. And he said that he wants to rest in the day of trouble, which means he doesn't even want to be there. Imagine that he doesn't even want to be alive at that time because Yahweh Shah is going to invade this earth with his troops. So this is a big deal coming on the earth, man. Right? You got it, King.
Khan, that's right. And you have to be perfect. The Lord is coming back for the perfect, right? He's coming back for the men, women, and children that sigh and cry for his name, right? All the atrocities and things done upon the earth, right? All of the bloodshed and those that are innocent, right? This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, and I'm going to start at verse 21, right? And a lot of brothers are, how am I going to make it in that day? What am I going to do? Well, let me read this precept. For the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he pondereth all his goings. So the Most High is watching us week in, week out, and the Most High isn't just watching you on a physical level. He's watching your mind, right? He's in your reins. He's in your thoughts. Right? When we murmured in Egypt, what did we murmur? We murmured in our tents. Right? We didn't come out and grab up Moses, sit him down in the seat, and all start shaking our hand at him, huh? When Israel murmured, they murmured in their tents. And us being tabernacles and vessels, right, in temples, right, you don't want to murmur in your mind. It's the day of the Lord coming, right? You may be fearful in the back of your mind. You may be putting your trust in America and or like the brother was going into bug out bags, flashlights, right, tents, and all manner of carnal things that you think is going to save you instead of building up your spirit. So the Lord's going to ponder all your ways and all of your goings. It says, his own iniquities shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sins. So when you get bound up and get cast to the dogs, cast to the wild beasts, cast to these guillotines, these FEMA camps, or whatever the case may be, and the Most High may not be with you in those days, the Lord said your own sins are going to be the ones that bind you up. They're going to be the ones where you can't be loosened, where the Lord can't deal with you. It says he shall die without instruction. Meaning this is the time to get instruction now, to be built up, to get the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, and to push through all of the cares of this life. You don't think brothers get tired? Brothers aren't hungry at times. Brothers don't have ailments, knee problems, back problems, ankle problems, right? You may be catching hell in your household. You may be catching hell at your job, right? You may be catching hell in your own mind and your own thoughts. But you push through all of that for the Lord because you understand it's something bigger than you, man. Like the brother going into, hey, the end of the world is here. It's bigger than just you and your problems. It's bigger than what you're going with. The Lord is looking for that man to bear that cross and to actually be in his image. And in his image, all of those problems, cares, situations, the Lord didn't care about and or mention, man. He bared that cross, right? And he put all his faith and trust in the Most High. It says he shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly, he shall go astray. In the greatness of his foolishness, folly, he's going to be led astray and not be cared for. Let me get this quick precept. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, and verse 22. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. It says suddenly. You're not going to get a warning, a 4-week notice, and or somebody knocking on your door. Suddenly things could change in a matter of seconds in your house, man, right? It could be a bomb in your city, right? You can have a red alert flashing, and or you wake up, right? Your Twitter, right? Your phone, everything's exploding with all type of news of the end of the world and or a death of the president and or a death of a U.S. Marshal, a prime minister, these men of high renown. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And you have to be already ready spiritually in this day when these things happen. You can't prepare yourself because suddenly it's going to happen at the drop of a dime. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that's what's going to happen. Men are going to be frantic, right? Scared, yelling, screaming. And the Lord said, the men, right? Let me get this last quick precept. Right in the book of Isaiah, men are going to be like women, right, in Egypt. They're going to be frantic, scared, crying, right, miserable, right? It's not going to be like you think it's going to be. We don't know how it's going to be in depthly, man. Hey, the prophets saw visions, right? They didn't fully know. No one's going to fully know till you're in that day and resting in that lot and seeing the things that are prophesied in part come to pass. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, right? And I'm going to start at verse, I'm going to start at 14. The Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, and as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So this society is going to be as if a drunken man is staggering and back and forth in his vomit, right? Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or the tail, branch or rush may do. You're not going to be able to lean on anybody for help. Hey, it's not going to be any work for these people that have money in the society to even sustain themselves. It says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman. And Egypt is talking about what? It's talking about America, man. Now, on one fold, If Egypt's going to be like a woman, and these Egyptians, which is the so-called white man in America, right, Babylon the Great, they're going to be like women, and they have the tanks, they have the military armor, they have all of the drones, they have the war planes, they have the war vehicles, and even with all of that so-called protection, they're going to be like women. How much more are you? I mean, what do we have other than the Most High to protect us? It says, and it shall be, Salaki, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shall shake over it. You got
it. Yeah, and I was gonna say on the top of that, really, a lot of people may say, well, why are you guys trying to scare us? Why you guys keep speaking about destruction? Why don't you just talk about the love of God, right? And his loving kindness and his compassion on the sons of men, right? Why not speak on his jolly and his mirth? The days, what book says Yahweh jolly days, right? I mean, you got bombs about to drop on the earth, man. Bombs about to drop. A civil war could start, right? That the servants of the Lord have to get our people right. And like the brother said, this is loving kindness. This is love, man. This is strong, tough love that we need, right? And if we want to escape from the destruction coming on the earth, here's what the Most High said, right? This second Ezra's. See, we're not like we always say, we're not the Christian pastors, man. This isn't fun time. This isn't 2.5 hours of fun time, right? This is just fun hour, or not Kwame and Ryan's fun hour. Like a damn sitcom, man, right? Monday night fun hour, right? And then I go and tell jokes. I do 10 minutes of stand up. Then I turn my camera off. Then Ryan come up, he play the guitar, right? For a few hours. Then Yara done and he show his cat. We're not doing this, man. Right? This is second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7. Right? I mean, this whole thing is good, right? I mean, this one of my favorite chapters. But I'm gonna read 5. I'm gonna read 5 through 7, right? Second Ezra 5. I mean, chapter 9 and verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And the end is manifest, man. You're not living in the time of Genesis. You're not living in the time of we're not waiting on Moses to come down from Mount Sinai, right? We're not waiting to see if Cain really murdered Abel or not, man. We're living in the end. You're living in the time of the end, right? Let's read on. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved, right? So nobody's saved yet. I'm not saved. You're not saved. Nobody's saved yet. We don't know if we're saved. Now, your name could be in the book of life, but you don't know it. No man has a hidden PDF file of the book of life, right? Okay, my name's in, I'm going to just rest. No. It says, everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed shall be preserved from the said perils and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So the Most High said, if you want to escape, you're going to escape by your faith and by your works. So you have, and these are two things that we have to make sure that we're increasing in the last days, because that's what's going to get you out of here. Not who you know, right? Not what a congregation you're in, not how many wives you have, not how long your beard and your garment is. What's going to get you out? The Lord gave you the key right there. Your faith and your works, right? And you show your faith by your works. The Apostle James said it best by that mouth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? Show me your faith without your works. I'll show you my faith by my works in James chapter 2. So you show your faith by your works. So that's why we're going to 7 ways on how to survive Armageddon. We're not going to pull up a nuclear bunker or a bug out bag. We're going to go into various things that we have to obtain and acquire and push ourselves to have so we can receive the salvation that the Most High has in store for us. Now, ultimately, it's up to the mercy of the Most High, right? At the end of the day anyway, but we're going to be diligent to make our calling and election sure, right? I had another one. Job, right? Let me get this real quick, right? It's like it is the book of Job, chapter 19 and verse 20. My bone cleaveth to the skin and to my flesh, or to my skin and to my flesh, and I am escaped with the skin of my teeth. And that's how we're going to make it out of here, man. So the Lord said, everyone that shall escape by his faith and by his works. And Job says, when you escape, you're going to escape by the skin of your teeth, which means you're barely, that's a famous saying for you're barely going to make it out of here, right? The skin of your teeth thin, you're barely going to make it, man. So even if you do make it, the Lord said the righteous shall scarcely be saved. So this thing is real, man. The Lord said one man could go therein at once, and 2 Ezra 7. So this is not just a wide, big, open gate where anybody that just knows that they're Israel can come in. Many are called. Let me get that real quick. One more, right? This is the book of Matthew, right? Chapter 20 and verse 20. It's like I went Matthew 20 and 16. So the last shall be first, and the first last, for many be called, but few chosen. So it's a lot of us that's called. We were all called. The Most High gave us our nationality, our heritage, this truth, this understanding. He may have given you a family. He may have set you up. The Most High may have exalted you and provided you with various blessings, and you were called. But now it's time to be diligent to make our calling and election sure. Now it's time to prove to Yahweh Bashmi Shai that you wasn't called in vain. Some people are called in vain. They come in this thing out of the world and they go right back into the world. Well, your calling was in vain. Some people are called and they'll stay for a year, 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, and then they'll go back. Well, their calling was in vain. Now it's time to prove that your calling was not in vain, that you're not like the rest, that you're pushing like Yahweh Shai and our forefathers, and it's time to prove that your calling was for you to make it to the kingdom. Right? You got it, King.
Khan, and that's a scary thing to be called, right? And turn your back on the Lord. That's essentially what you would be doing, right? Turning your back on the Most High, right? His beloved Son Yahweh Shai, treading underfoot His mercy, His grace, and His blood, which covers you, to indulge in things that you care about in the lust of the flesh of this world, right? Let me get this quick precept. This is the book of Acts, chapter 12 and verse number 6. I'm gonna start at 5. It says, Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing from the church unto God for him. So prayer is very important, man. You may get split up from your wife and or your congregation, but what's stopping you from praying for them in the days to come, man? What's stopping you from praying for that brother right in front of you, maybe in the guillotine? Brothers in the guillotine, maybe in a concentration camp, right? Maybe kidnapped and be associated and or with, right, 50 Israelites, 100 Israelites. However this thing is going to go down, you got to pray for your brother, man. You got to pray for your wife, your children, your congregation, the nation, the poor. They prayed without ceasing for Peter. And what happened when they prayed? And when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping between two soldiers, bound with 2 chains. And the keepers before the door kept the prison. So there was no way for Peter to escape. You may feel like there's no way for you to escape the days to come and the situations that you're going to be in. And behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him. Right now, the angel of the Lord always comes down to strengthen that man, woman, or child, right, in adversity through the hand of the Most High. The Lord sent down his angels. The angels protect you, guide you, strengthen you, right, give you revelation, put you in visions, trances, right? So this angel came down. Behold, the angel of the Lord came upon him, and a light shined in the prison. And he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, arise up quickly. And his chain fell off from his hand. And that's exactly what's going to happen. This isn't just an account from the days of old, man. The angels still exist. The angels are still on the earth, going to and fro. The Most High still giving judgment. Yahweh Shai is still righteous. Don't just look at these accounts like, oh, that's just the old time. It'll never happen again. Right? Before this truth, I've never prophesied in a dream about the end of the world. Right? I've never done the things that the Lord has raised me up to do humbly through his might and his spirit, man. So as you grow in this truth and though the Lord deals with you, right, things are going to start happening. And the Lord fed Elijah. Right? Don't think that can't happen to you. Right? We are our forefathers. And the days of old are going to come back on the earth. You're not just going to have bloodshed, vengeance, sword, pestilence, and all manner of evil, and not have the same amount, just balance of righteousness that the Lord had mercy on our forefathers with. I've never seen an unjust balance with the Most High. So the same way you're going to have the amount of wild beasts, death, and sword chasing you, the same way the Lord is going to always have a what? A remnant. The Lord always had a remnant that he delivered, he saved, right? He was always a refuge for. Right, let me get this other quick precept. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 12 and verse number 43. I'm going to start at 45. It says, but I'm going to start at 46. It says, be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, O house of Jacob. For the highest have you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation. Meaning the Lord isn't going to forget you. You may feel like he may forget you, man. When your rent due, right? When something going on and you're getting shaky, you're getting frantic, right? You're getting worried. Your mind's not right, right? Hey, I need the Lord right now type of spirit. And the Lord hasn't forgot you in your temptations, in your adversity. The Lord know you hungry. And the Lord know what needs you have before you ask it, man. Right? It says this, for as for me, I have not forsaken you, neither am I departed from you, but am come into this place to pray for the desolation of Zion, and that I might seek mercy for the low estate of your sanctuary. Right? So the Lord didn't forget you and won't forget you in your temptations and your problems and adversities. You got it.
God, and these things have to be meditated upon. Right? There are works that we have, and prayer is extremely important. Yahweh Shah said it in Luke the 18th chapter. Right? Let me get this real quick in Luke chapter 18. Right, this ain't Luke chapter 18 and verse 1. And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not faint. So prayer should not be something that you just take light. That is your direct source to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right? So these prayers and these petitions, these thanksgiving, supplications, they have to be done. And what Satan wants to do is Satan wants to make you so-called too busy to pray. Satan wants to add your job in your life. He wants to break your body down. He wants to take your mind and make your mind go on things that pertain to things other than salvation. And now you're too tired to pray. And now you'll pray later. Or, I don't need to pray. And you need to pray, man. I need to pray. All of us need to follow what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua said, man. Men ought always to pray. Like I always tell the story, this one person said that they pray only on the Shabbat. Right, so every Shabbat they heaped up all of their sins day 1 through 6, and they heaped up all of this madness day 1 through 6, and on the Shabbat they would pray. Man. Well, how long did that last? Right, not long enough because they're out of this thing, man. Right, doing things that ought not to be mentioned. Right, so your prayers have to go up before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Your prayer for direction. Prayers for guidance, prayers that you don't lean on your own understanding, prayers that the Most High don't take the Holy Spirit away from you, prayers that you're not giving over to strange doctrines and a reprobate mind, a prayer to remain upright and blameless, prayer for wisdom and faith and stability. So these are things that we need to constantly throw up to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Right, let's read on. Actually, I'm going to jump down to verse 7. Luke 18 and verse 7. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? So if you're the elect, you're going to be crying day and night. That's one of the traits of the elect. A lot of brothers, well, maybe I'm doing the work of the elect because I know Revelation 12, I know that. Well, one of the works of the elect is crying unto the Most High day and night. Right? That's you pleading to Yahweh Bashmi Rashad that he delivers you, man, from this unjust judge named Esau, from this wicked system. See, some people cry to the Most High when you get your car breakdown. You break your ankle, your woman leave you, right? Something negative affects your life financially, emotionally, physically. Now you want to cry to the Most High when the rent is due, right? Well, why didn't you cry to the Most High day and night, man, to be delivered? You don't have to worry about rent and physical pain if you're praying to be delivered. That tops all of that, man. You got to delight in your prayers too, right? Let me get this in another quick precept. So one of the ways to get out of here, man, prayers have to be amplified. Prayers have to be amplified. Right? This is the book of Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 21. Right? Ezra 8 and 21. Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him a right way for us, and for our little ones, and for all our substance. Because you might be thinking that what you got going on is the right way. How you're moving, what you're doing in your life, what you're praying for, right? Me and Ryan was just talking about that at camp, man. A lot of brothers may be praying for stuff or, think you're doing stuff and it's according to your own mind, right? Instead of asking the Most High to guide you. See, Ezra, he could have kept going away. It's not like he didn't know how to get back to Jerusalem, but he sought the way of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua for him and his little ones in his household. Right? And that's the way that you're supposed to go. You don't want to walk confidently in the plain way. I read my 2 chapters a day. I know it. That's the recipe for success. Well, that may not be the recipe for success, brother. You might find out the Most High wants you to pray more. You might find out the Most High wants you to add more to your resume. He might want you to go out on the highways and byways. Right? The Most High might want you to treat your household better. The Most High might want you to do other things than you think that you need to do, man. So if that's called humbling yourself in the eyes of your creator. A proud man is not daunted with fear when he himself would do things without counsel, paraphrasing, right? And your number one counselor is not the elder that's been in the truth 35, 40 years. Your number one counselor, first and foremost, is Yahweh Bashmi Rashai and these testimonies that are written to guide you and give you instruction through experience and wisdom, right? Let me read that again. This is Ezra chapter 8 and verse 21. Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ahava. And fasting is good with prayer and alms with righteousness, right? That's written in Tobit 12 and 8. So fasting has to be part of this thing too, man. You don't want to be a glutton on the day of the Lord, man. Right? And you don't afflict yourself. You're just heaping up demons. We always encourage brothers to fast at least once a week. See, first you might start off once every 2 weeks. Then you might get into this thing once a week. You might do twice a week, right? But it all depends on your spirit. All right? It reads, at the river of Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him a right way for us, and for our little ones, and for all our substance. For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken unto the king, saying, the hand of our God is upon all them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath is against all them that forsake him. So we fasted and besought our God for this, and he was entreated of us. So remember, Ezra didn't go to Jerusalem in the same fashion that Nehemiah went, right? Nehemiah, he asked to go, he did things, and same thing with Zerubbabel. He did the put the wise saying out. Ezra was forced to go. He was sent on a mission by the king. Remember, these Persian kings, once they ruled the land, they would send delegates back to the land to make sure things were in order in their province. So Ezra was the top guy. He told Ezra, go back And whoever don't do the law of the king, let him be banished. So Ezra came back with a lot of power because he was sent directly by the king to get things in order. So he really had the most power when he went down there around like 457 or so BC. But Ezra, he believed in the Most High so much. The king said, I'm going to send you soldiers and an army to escort you. Ezra said, nah, the Most High is going to be with us. But then they kind of ran into a bump in the road, for lack of better terms. He said he was ashamed to ask the king. You should be ashamed to trust in man the same way Ezra was, man. Ezra didn't easily trust in man. He could have went before the king and said, look, we need an army, we need soldiers to escort us. No. He said, I'm a fast and pray to the Most High, because cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm. He was ashamed of that. He was embarrassed, man, because he didn't want to go before a powerful king. It's easy. You know how easy it is to have them connections to just go hit the king up and he'll give you whatever you want. He could get it like that. He put his head down and he blushed, man, and said, I'm a fast. And the Most High was entreated of them. So when you fast and you pray, and the Most High is going to be entreated of you and guide you in a way that you need to go to, man. Right? But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Same with Esther, man. Right? Entreated, right? The Most High God for all the afflictions and things going on. And the Most High was entreated of. Right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 21 and verse 2. It says, thou hast given him his heart's desire, and has not withholden the request of his lips. Salah. So if you pray to the Most High in a sincere, humble spirit without blood on your hands, that's enough. You can't have blood on your hands when you pray to the Most High. You can't just have damn lasciviousness, covetousness, hatred, envy, strife, and all manner of wickedness and witchcraft and sorcery, and or hatred and blood on your hands, and then think you're going to pray to the Most High and he's going to deliver you. Hey, with David, had a beautiful spirit. He had a spirit after the Most High's own, a heart after the Most High's own. Thou hast given him his heart's desire. The Most High gave you your heart's desire. You'll probably be rich tomorrow. 4 cars, 9 wives, 2 houses, right? You don't have to work ever again. What's your heart's desire? Is it to build up the temple of the Lord? Is it to have a house and a place for his rest, man? Is it to build up your congregation? To build up your household? The Lord gave you your heart's desires right now. What would it be? Would that overthrow you, or would that bless you? Would that give you the spirit to be able to go harder for the Most High and be blameless and perfect and undefiled? Or will your heart's desires lead you down the road of destruction, of women, of drugs, right? Of being lukewarm. So David had a perfect heart. So the Lord could give him his heart's desires, and he did not withhold from him the request of his lips, man. The request of his lips is prayer. Whatever David were to meditate on, pray on, the Most High gave him, right? Because he was meditating that after his heart, man. Right, let me get this quick precept. When you go to Acts chapter 16, right, let's start at verse number 23. And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safety. Right, so when Paul got locked up, right, just as in Peter, right, you're going to be locked up, man. The days to come are not going to be, the way you may map it out to be, man. This isn't a movie. This isn't a TV show, right? I can't imagine the things that are going to happen. You have to have a strong mind and a spirit to be and rest in these days, man. It says this, who having received such a charge, thrust them into the inner prison and made their feet fast in the stocks. So they locked them up, they grabbed them, they threw them in prison, they locked up their feet with chains and put them in the stocks. It says, and at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto Yahweh. And what manner of man had they had to be singing while you locked up and beaten, man? So they had many sore stripes laid upon them, man. To be beaten, locked up, and then your feet is fast in the stocks. That had to be uncomfortable. That may have been brass, steel, iron wrapped around their feet, right? They may be sore. It's dark down there, right? All hell breaking loose, man. Hey, a man's mind could leave him. You start thinking the Lord departed from me. This is my judgment, right? Hey, your sins weighing you down could be a very extreme thing, man. It says this. It says, and at midnight, Paul and Silas prayed and sang praises unto Yahweh, and the prisoners heard them. Right? They may have been like, what the hell is going on? These men must be insane. You know, when you in prison, you know, everybody want to act hard, right? They may be sharpening up their toothbrush. They may be trying to play music or sneak their cell phones in, whatever the case may be during the times of now, right? I mean, what do you think of men singing in the Hebrew, man? Call all Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and then they're going into, I'm led to believe, a song of deliverance, right? A song of thanksgiving, whether it be a song of thanksgiving, a song of deliverance, a song that they're content in their estate, whatever they were singing through the Spirit, it pleased the Most High. And the spirit you in is going to dictate a lot of what spirit that the Most High is going to give unto you. If you have an unbelieving, fearful spirit to where you feel like the Most High is not with you and departed from you, hey, the Lord may match that, man. Hey, the Lord's mercy is going to be unto whom he give mercy, right? It says this, and suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken. And immediately all the doors were open and everyone's bands were loose. So the Lord had opened up the whole entire prison through the hand of Paul and Silas praying to the Most High in the Hebrew, man. So you can't forget nor neglect to be thankful and or praying in that situation, no matter what's going on. You don't always want to pray when you got your heat on in your house and you face toward the east in the comfortability of your house, in your closet. Then you just pray, then the Most High, but you know, whatever the case may be, when things get rough, you neglect to pray. Hey, let me get this last quick precept. Hey, Jonah prayed in the belly of hell, man. So in the belly of adversity, right, that's when Jonah prayed. And you have to pray in that same spirit, man. But it's the book of Jonah, chapter 2, and verse 1. Then Jonah prayed unto the Lord, his God, out of the fish's belly, and said, I cry by reason of mine affliction unto the Lord, and he heard me out of the belly of hell, cried I, and thou hast heardest my voice. So in the belly of hell, right, he could have drowned in there, man. Right, he could have been suffocated in there. There's so many things that could have happened to him. He could have been choked out by all of the seaweed, or whatever the case may be, may have been in there, right, and or the fishes. But nevertheless, the Most High heard his affliction and guided him out. Right, you got it, King.
Yeah, and I mean, you're going to be, you know, in the days to come, we haven't experienced what's coming on the earth before, right? We haven't seen it. You know, the Most High said, even in 1 Corinthians 2:9, I have not seen nor ear heard the things that the Most High hath prepared for them that love him, paraphrasing. And that's on the right-hand side. Even on the left-hand side. I mean, they're going to read 2nd Ezra 15. Read 2nd Ezra 16, man. The days that are coming on the earth are going to be incomprehensible. And you're going to have to keep your faith and your mind focused on this truth, man. Because it's going to get easy to do what you want to do. But you have to stay focused on Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? Let me get this real quick in the book of Psalms. Right? Let me get this. Let me get this in Psalms chapter 112. Right? This Psalm chapter.
You on mute. You on mute, King.
Lucky. It reads, surely he shall not be moved forever. The righteous shall be an everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of evil tidings. His heart is fixed, trusting in Yahweh. His heart is established. He shall not be afraid until he see his desire upon his enemies. So the Most High said that a righteous man, he's not going to be afraid of evil tidings. You're going to hear that World War III siren blow, man. Like we did the video, what to do when our hell break loose. You're going to hear that martial law. You're going to hear that alert pop up possibly, right, on your phone, man. You're going to see the abomination of desolation. You're going to see the tanks marching through the streets, man. This is real. So a key thing that go with your prayer is your faith. Because you can be praying right now. Like you said, I mean, like Ryan said, you can be praying right now, you know, when you're comfortable, man. You got your socks on, your snuggie, and then get up, get back, roll back in the bed and tuck yourself in and wrap the cover around your toes and keep the toes warm and get up and right, you toss and turn, you lean on this side, and it's easy to do that, man. But you're going to need the faith when you're a pilgrim on earth, right? When you're on the run, when you're in a FEMA camp, you might be next ready to get beheaded, bro. Right? They calling your number 233. You was praying in your prison cell that the Most High deliver you, but you allowed us to be beheaded, bro. So you got to be fixed, trusting in the Most High. And faith. Without faith, it is impossible. Let me get that real quick to please the Most High. It's just not going to happen. Right? This Hebrews chapter 11. It's like you. Right? Hebrews chapter 11. I'm missing that one. Let me read it in this one. Salakia. Right? Bear with me. Just the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter, in verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. So we really got to keep this faith, man. Even in the flesh, Job was a perfect man, and he kind of got shaky a little bit. We all get shaky. John the Baptist got shaky, man. Right? Let me get that. In Matthew 11, right? Even John the Baptist got shaky. This is Matthew chapter 11 and verse 1. And it came to pass, when Yahushua had made an end of commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and to preach in their cities. Now when John, this is John the Baptist, right? Now when John had heard in prison the works of Hamashiach, he sent 2 of his disciples and said unto him, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? Well, hold on. Why is John asking that? Didn't John say, behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sins of the world in John 1:29? Didn't he say he must increase and I must decrease? Didn't he say, he that cometh after me is mightier than me, who was before me? So he knew that Yahushua was the Son of God, the anointed. But he knew that when it was easy. And he believed that when things were comfortable. And he stood 10 toes down with no affliction. But then when the affliction comes, and you in this body, you in this flesh, and your mind might try to get to you, man. Is this really the truth? That's what he's really asking. Is this really the truth? Right? Now he said, art thou he, it's like it says, art thou he that should come, or do we look for another? I mean, are you really the Son of God? So he was really kind of questioning, man. Right? Is this the truth? I'm in prison. I'm about to be beheaded. Right? My life is about to be gone. Right? Let's read on. Yahushua answered and said unto them, go and show John again those things which ye do hear and see. The blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. So Yahushua said, go exhort that man. I know he's going through a rough time right now. I know he in the flesh. Go exhort him and tell him, I am that guy. Right? This is the truth. You are in the truth, man. Your mind might try to play tricks. I don't know if this really it. Am I being judged? I know I'm wicked. Is this really the end? My one sin that I did. Now this is the Lord getting up with me. I don't know if this is it. No, you got to remember the works of the Most High. He said, go tell him again. Because John already knew. They told Yahushua, his disciples, they baptized him more than yours, bro. You know? So they said, remind him. And you got to be reminded, right, about these works, man, and about the works of the Most High and his truth. And that's going to keep your faith going, being reminded of the right hand of the Most High. So he told them, the blind receive their sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. The dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. You see that? So you don't want to be offended in Yahweh Shai. You want to be bold now. Esau kissing the boot. You're shaking the hand. You're reading Revelation 13:9. You got 5 guys around you. You're feeling real strong in the flesh. But then adversity comes, you become a little bit weaker in the spirit. And we may not always have the luxury for a brother to come exhort us in prison, man. Right? Where a brother could come check on you and sign his name here and there, man. And come encourage you while you're in jail. No, you got to have this thing in you now. And have that faith to remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. Because there's no point in praying if you don't believe. All right, so you got to remember the right hand of the Most High. And one more point, that's why it's important to study. So you can remember these accounts and pray for understanding. Because you're going to remember, and when you're in a famine, you might want to remember the time that the Lord fed Elijah. Right? You might remember the precept when the Most High fed David and his men in the wilderness. And they brought raisins and beds, and they satisfied the people that were hungry. You got to remember these accounts. Because if you don't have the words of the Most High in these accounts in the days to come, you're going to be in your own mind. And you're going to do what's right to your own destruction. Right? But you got it, King.
That's right. Right. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 50, in verse number 7. And it reads, "For the Lord God will help me. Therefore shall I not be confounded. Therefore have I set my face like a flint, and I know that I shall not be ashamed." So Isaiah's mind was that the Most High was going to help him, and he's going to have a stone cold face. He's going to be in this thing, man. He's not going to be scared, frantic, overthrown, manipulated, right? He's not, when fear come and people come in the land and, you know, all hell break loose and they may shake their hand against you, you got to set your face like a flint. It's like a rock, meaning stone cold in this thing that you actually believe. He is near that justified me. Who will contend with me? So Isaiah knew that the Lord was with him, man. And that's the type of spirit that lets you know that he actually believed. A lot of men may say, well, you know what, the Most High is with me. Then when you know what hit the fan, they're the first one to run. And a fight may break out, man. Swords may be drawn. You know, a fire may kindle physically, right? A bomb may set off, right? You want to be next to a brother, not for his physical strength, but for his spirit. Because the Most High is going to defend the righteous and condemn the wicked. It says, he is near that justifies me. Who will contend with me? You know, who won it, man? Who gonna come up against me, man? I'm with the Most High and his beloved son, Yahweh Shai, Bashima Mashiach Yahweh Shai, and the angels. Who won war with me, man? Let us stand together. Who is mine adversary? Let him come near to me. So he has so much confidence that whoever it is that won it, man, that come up against me, come up, man. He's not going to run. He's not going to be frantic. He's not going to fear, right? He's not going to hide, right? Isaiah had a man-like spirit. And most importantly, over than that, he didn't fear and he believed. It says, he is near that justified me. Who will contend with me? Let us stand together. Who is mine adversary? Let him come near to me. Behold, the Lord will help me. Who is he that shall condemn me? Lo, they shall wax old as in garment. The moth shall eat them up. And that's the mentality that he had. That no matter who's coming up against me, I already know their lot because I'm standing with the Lord. Who is among you that feareth the Lord, that obeyeth the voice of his servant, that walketh in darkness and have no light? So Isaiah is asking the question, who is among you that feareth the Lord, that obey the voice of his servant, that walketh in darkness and have no light? Let him trust in the name of the Lord and stay upon his God. And where you stand upon his God? In darkness, until you find a light, until the Most High deliver you, until the Most High guide you. And the Lord said of his servant that walketh in darkness and have no light, let him trust in the name of the Lord. He didn't say let him trust in the name of the Lord in the light, in the comfortability, right? Why you have 1,000 couches and you know your blinds, you twisting them open, you're looking out the window, right? Your heat is on in your house, right? You're comfortable, right? Your woman just made some unleavened bread, right? Some cakes, right? You're just comfortable in the comfortability of your house. It says, behold, all ye that kindle a fire, that compass yourselves about with sparks, walk in the light of your fire. And in the sparks that ye have kindled, This shall ye be of mine hand, ye shall lie down in sorrow. Right? So that's the type of spirit you want to be in, a type of spirit that no matter what's going on, I know the Most High is with me. Right? Let me get the prayer, right, that Sirach did in Sirach chapter 23. This is a beautiful prayer. Right? In all prayers, you don't have to pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding all the time, huh? You don't want to die a wise fool. Right? You want to pray that the Most High destroy this place. You want to pray that the Most High deliver you. You want to sigh and cry for the abominations done. Right? Let me get this quick precept. Right in Second Esdras. That's what Esdras did, man. Esdras had that type of mind. Right? This is Second Esdras chapter 8 and verse number 15. Now therefore, Lord, will I speak. Touching man in general, thou knowest best, but as touching thy people, whom sake I am sorry, and for thine inheritance, in whom's cause I mourn. So Ezra was mourning. He was sorry, right? He was sitting up there. He had a contrite heart for all of the sorrow, death, and things coming upon his people. That's how you know he the elect, man. You want to sigh and cry for the atrocities done. You may not be doing that, and that may show how much you care about your people, right? It says this, whose sake, right, I mourn, for Israel, who I am heavy, for Jacob, whose sake I am troubled. Therefore, I will begin to pray before thee for myself and for them. It's not just about yourself when you pray. You pray for yourself and you pray for them. You pray for the poor. You pray for your family, right? You pray for the brothers weak in the spirit. These are the spirits of our forefathers. They didn't just pray for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And if that's your prayer, it's not vain, but it will begin to be vain and unsincere if that's all you pray for. If all you pray for is one thing, you have a small blinders on in this truth. You want to expand your mind and your spirit to what you really need to be praying for, making intercessions and asking the Most High to guide your thoughts. It says, therefore, will I begin to pray for thee, for myself, and for them, for I see the fells of us that dwell in the land. Right? And it's the book of Sirach, chapter 23 and verse 1. O Yahweh, Father and Governor of my whole life, leave me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them. Who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over mine heart, that they spare me not for mine ignorance, and it pass not by my sins. Lest mine ignorances increase, and my sins abound to my destruction, and I fall before thine adversaries, and mine enemies rejoice over me, whose hope is far from thy mercy. O Yahweh, Father and God of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servant always a haughty mind. Turn away from me vain hopes and concupiscence, and thou shalt hope him up that is desirous always to serve thee. I'm going to read that last part. And thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee. If your mind is always to serve the Lord, and not just in the comfortability of when you want to, the Most High is going to hold you up. When your mind is always to serve the Lord. You got it.
Kind of, and I want to get this. This is to add to that. Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 17. It reads, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And that's why we have to do lessons like this and go into these topics, because that's a real question. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Suppose Iran gets hit with a ballistic missile within the next week or month or so. Suppose it's an EMP attack that happens, 5 months from now, right? Suppose something happens any day, right? Great death, famine, evils, beginning of wars. What shall we do when these evils shall come? Right? And eventually this prophecy is going to catch up. It's going to be a reality. You're going to be living in these days. Right now we're walking towards that path, but you're going to walk through that door, right? And I'm going to jump down. This is Second Esdras chapter 16 and verse 50. Actually, I'm gonna get verse 62. Second Ezra 16 and 62. Yea, and the spirit of the Almighty God, which made all things, and searcheth out all hidden things and the secrets of the earth. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what ye think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. Therefore hath Yahweh exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. So another thing that goes with the prayers, the faith that we're going into is repentance, right? Because secret sins are going to hold you back from everlasting life. If there's something that you're doing and you're continually doing it, and you think that nobody's watching you or nobody sees you, it may not even be as outlandish as adultery and murder. It could be backbiting. It could be murmuring. It could be the wandering of the eyes, wantonness. It can be lust. It can be covetousness. It can be pride. It could be you not taking reproof, right? It can be a lack of humility. It could be your house out of order. It could be how you treat yourself. It could be all types of things. The Lord knows everybody's works in these last days. And one type of person that's not going to make it is a proud man. And a man with secret sins, even them that would sin and hide their sin. Right? Let's read on. Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 63. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what ye think in your hearts. And the Lord knows what you're thinking in your heart, man. There are some people that really want to serve the Most High. They really want to get out of here. They're really praying for their self and their elect and their nation. They're fasting. They want to teach their people. They want to see the Lord return. The Lord knows what's in your mind. Then the Lord knows who's a hypocrite. Because you can fall short, but you can still have a sincere heart towards the Most High. Because the Lord said, a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So you may fall short, but you want to make sure your spirit is clean through repentance and begging for mercy as well in these days, man. It's part of your prayers. It's part of your fast. It's part of your petitions. It's part of cleansing yourself through repentance, right? Because if you got gall and leaven in you and spots and blemishes, that could be the reason that you don't make it, right? The gall and the spots and blemishes, man. Right, reading on. Verse 64. Therefore hath Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai exactly searched out all your works, and he will put you all to shame. And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. What will ye do? Or how would you hide your sins before the Most High and his angels? So the Lord said your own sins are going to be your accusers. Which means what? When it's judgment time and the Most High is about to condemn you for adultery or whatever sin, like you say, well, nobody knows. Well, you're going to have witnesses. And the 2 or 3 witnesses are your sins. And they're going to accuse you too. Huh? They are witnesses against you. The wicked works you do are going to testify against you out of the mouth of 2 of them or 3 of them in the day of judgment. Huh? And they're going to accuse you to the Most High. And your sins are going to be brought forth. So whatever you're struggling with or dealing with, it's time to get the help that you need, man. If you need to get counsel, if you need to go on a fast, if you need to wrap up your prayers, right? If you need to, reach out, via email, if you need to afflict yourself and do a 2-day fast or a 3-day fast, if you need to read more, whatever it is, it's time to cleanse your entire spirit, man. Right? Let me get this real quick in 2 Corinthians, right? Chapter 7. This 2 Corinthians, chapter 7 and 1. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of the Most High. So you have to perfect holiness. See, holy just means to be set apart, right? Quadash. But you perfecting your holiness, because some brothers are set apart, you kind of inch back towards not being set apart, right? Rather it's in word or in deed or in thought. You have to perfect your holiness. And you have to look at even the littlest sin like it's going to kill you. The smallest thing, man. That next time you freak off, it's going to put you out this truth, man. The next time you become a lion in the house, hey, that could put you out this thing, man. The Lord is trimming the fat. The next time could be the last time. Right? So you don't want to take the grace of the Most High for granted and abuse this like this is Christianity. The Lord is picking the 18 right now. And he's telling everybody else, hey, go home, man. Like in Gideon. Or it's like in Judges, man. The Lord told those men, go home. I don't need those guys, man. They're not drinking water the way I want them to drink the water. Because you got a lot of brothers drinking the water right now. Right? But only a remnant is going to drink the water the right way, man. And the remnant, the majority of them, they're going to go home. Read the book of Judges, man. Read the 6th chapter. Read the 7th chapter. The majority left, and the Lord dismissed them. And the remnant made it. And that was who the Most High was dealing with. You got to drink this water the right way, man. Without guile and sincerity and in purity. Actually, I'm going to get that last one real quick, right? In case brothers never read the book of Judges or may not know, right? This is the book of Judges, chapter 6. Salakia. Actually, 7, right? This is Judges chapter 7 and verse 5. It reads, I'm going to start at 4. Judges 7 and 4. And the Lord said unto Gideon, the people are yet too many. And it's too many Israelites right now, right? Because not everybody's going to make it. Not everybody that knows that they're an Israelite is going to make it. So the Most High said, the people are too many. Bring them down unto the water, and I will try them for thee there. And it shall be that of whom I say unto thee, this shall go with thee, the same shall go with thee. And of whomsoever I say unto thee, this shall not go with thee, the same shall not go. So he said, bring them down, and we're going to try them. We're going to test them, right? So he brought down the people into the water, and the Lord said unto Gideon, every one that lappeth of the water with his tongue, as a dog lappeth, him shalt thou set by himself. Likewise, everyone that boweth down upon his knees to drink. So you have people lapping like a beast. You have people that drank the water, but they did it in the mannerism of a beast. Like a dog would lap. Like a beast would lap. Then you have people that drink the water like with a man's heart. Like a man would drink. Right? And you got to see which one are you, man. Are you drinking this water like a beast? Or are you drinking this water with a man's heart? Right? Reading on. And the number of them that lapped, putting their hands to their mouth, were 300 men. But all the rest of the people bowed down upon their knees to drink water. And Yahweh said unto Gideon, by the 300 men that lapped, will I save you, and deliver the Midianites into thine hand, and let all the other people go, every man into his place. So you got to decide how you drinking the water in the last days, man. Are you drinking the water like a dog? Or are you kind of in this thing, you kind of out this thing, still dealing with tendencies of the world like a beast? Because a beast will do anything. They'll have sex with anything. They'll hump a dog. They're in heat. They're looking and walking down the alley. They'll eat anything. They'll go through garbage. They eat, they vomit. Or you taking this thing like a man of the Lord, man, and doing this thing in sincerity. Because the Most High, he only kept a remnant. Right? So you want to be in this thing without guile and without deceit, man. Don't just drink the water, right? Drink the water the right way, man. Right? But you got it, King.
Come on, that's right. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will punish all them that are circumcised with the uncircumcised. You can't be in this truth and be mixed in the world at the same time. You can't put on a facade that you're a righteous, holy man and you're committing adultery behind closed doors, man. You secretly hate your brother behind closed doors. The Lord's going to trim the fat and get up with these men. And the Lord said, behold, the days come. Meaning it's a set time for judgment. It says, saith the Lord, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Egypt and Judah and Edom, all the children of Ammon and Moab, and all that are in the uttermost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and the house of Israel are uncircumcised in their heart. I mean, you can't be circumcised physically, but spiritually be uncircumcised. The Lord is likened unto Judah is the same as Egypt, Edom, Ammon. I mean, look at the ancient Egyptians. They're nasty. They're dirty. They shave off their beards. They cut their skin. They drink piss. They bathe in blood. They have all these wicked sacrifices, right? And dance and praise false gods. And you have Edom, right? Edom is the most base, wicked nation on the face of this earth, right? They're homosexuals, right? They're liars, thieves. They're abominable. They're thieves, man, right? They rape entire continents and pillage. The Lord is likened unto you with the same judgment and the same people as these people we hate, man. Don't be the brother that's circumcised physically, but spiritually he's uncircumcised, man. His heart not right. His spirit not right. His mind not right, right? It says this. And Ammon will eat anything, man. They'll eat rat, cat, bat, dog, right? You don't know what the hell you eating on that number 9, man. They just drench it with sauce and just hide all of the damn fingers and nails with extra sauce and broccoli, man. You sit up there eating it and have no idea what you're consuming, right? They'll eat anything, right? They'll beat you. I mean, these nations are completely mad, man. It says, in Moab, and all that are in the uttermost, so like the utter corners that dwell in the wilderness. I mean, what nations are sprinkled in that's dwelling in the wilderness? So you don't want to be likened unto a righteous, holy people, but have the actions, spirit, and mind of these nations and beasts, right? Let me get this quick precept. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, right? Chapter 16 and verse number 49. Ezekiel chapter 16 and 49. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. So, I mean, yes, Sodom and Gomorrah had all type of homosexuality and wickedness in it, but the Lord gives you an in-depth breakdown of what Sodom was really doing and what Sodom really had going on in the book of Ezekiel. Yeah, we know that Sodom had all type of man on man, woman on woman, right? Beast on man, beast on woman, and all type of sorcery. But what was going on in Sodom? It says, behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread. So another one of Sodom's abominations was pride. And a lot of brothers got pride. They can't be told correctly what to do. They can't take order. They don't want to listen. They don't want to receive correction. And they're just prideful unto their own demise and to destruction. The Lord said pride is the beginning of sin. And once you have pride, you're right at the door of sin. And if you lay hold on it like Cain did, you will be destroyed. It says fullness of bread is another part of Sodom's sin. What's fullness of bread? Right? A lot of people, man, they just want to keep building and building and building in the society. They want to have cars, right? All type of buildings and businesses. They want to continue to flourish 50 years from now. We're not looking to flourish 50 years from now, man. Our true flourishing is when the Lord plants us in our land. That's when we're going to flourish. The Lord say, Jacob shall take root, man. It says this, fullness of bread and abundance of idleness. The Lord said that Sodom had abundance of idleness, right? I mean, this is Sodom all over again. And a lot of brothers have the abundance of idleness. You don't read. You don't care to read. You don't occupy yourself in precepts. You don't care to do a breakdown or video. You don't care to watch a breakdown or video. You're just idle. And what do you do when you idle? You sin. You wander about as a lost sheep seeking where he may find rest. In every hole, ditch, and power are you going to fall because your lack of understanding and leadership and following the light and the path that the Lord set you in. It says the abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. So in Sodom, people was kicking down the poor, kicking down the needy, prideful, eating up all of the bread, meaning all of the substance of the land, right? They were prideful, they were idle, right? It was a lot of evil spirits in Sodom. It wasn't just that wicked spirit of it being a sodomite. Verse 50, and they were haughty and committed abominations, meaning pride, man. If you haughty, can't nobody tell you nothing. You walk with stretched forth legs and arms and and menacing, right? It says, and committed abominations before me. That's the point. Therefore, I took them away as I saw good, meaning the Lord was trimming the fat. As he saw good by weighing their wickedness in a balance, right? The Lord started taking them away one by one, one by one, one by one, numbering the wicked until the great destruction.
And you know, to that point, only a remnant made it out of Sodom, man. Only Lot, his wife, you understand? Well, his wife made it out, but she ain't finished, right? She was looking back, right? But you had Lot and his 2 daughters, man, right? So you want to, you know, another thing that's kind of bringing it all together through the spirit. Let me get this real quick. Is a lot of brothers like you named discipline. It's lucky. Well, I was going to say discipline, but you named, you know, fullness of bread and a lot of things that scripture say we're going into faith. And a lot of this goes into temperance and discipline, right? A lot of men, God forbid, aren't going to make it because they can't control their spirit, man. You have no rule over your spirit. You just let your emotions rule over you. Rather it's wrath and anger, your mouth, sadness, excitement, lust, freakism. You know, a lot of people, you're just going after the flesh. If you're going to endure and survive these last days, you need to understand that temperance is a key, and it's going to make you vital, right, in the days to come. All right, let me get this. So temperance is essentially self-control, right? And if you don't have any self-control, you're going to fall at the slightest thing, right? Let me get this in Proverbs, right? Chapter 28, right? This Proverbs, actually, I believe in one. Let me get this 25 and 28, right? Proverbs chapter 25 and 28. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. So if you don't have any rule over your spirit, you're just waiting for the enemy to invade you. Walls are supposed to provide defense and support from invasion of strangers, right? So these demons are looking to come right to you, man. And you need the walls built up. And the walls is your faith and your temperance and your discipline. So you need to make sure your walls are being fortified. You don't want any holes in your walls. Right? The Lord speaks about false prophets. Let me get this real quick in Ezekiel, the 13th chapter, who build up false walls for our people, man. Right? This is Ezekiel chapter 13 and verse 10. Ezekiel chapter 13 and 10. Because they have seduced my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. One built up a wall, and lo, others daubed it with untempered mortar, saying to them which daub it with untempered mortar, that it shall fall. There shall be an overflowing shower, and yea, O great hailstones shall fall, and a stormy wind shall rend it. Lo, when the wall is fallen, shall it not be said unto you, where is the daubing wherewith ye have daubed it? Right, so the Most High said a stormy wind is coming, man. What is that stormy wind? Affliction. You being separated from your family. You being in a FEMA camp. Air raid sirens going on. Nuclear bombs dropping. You getting fired from your job. They found you on the video. They saw you on the live. They said, is this you? Is that you right there? Are you one of those black Hebrew Israelites? You can't work here anymore. That's unacceptable behavior. That is against company policy. That is discrimination and code of conduct violation. Right? Police pull you over, man. They run your license. And they find out, hey, you're a black Hebrew Israelite, man. They word is going out to them that if you see any black Hebrew Israelites, bring them in for questioning. Right? They bring you in, they put you in that damn cold room, dark room. And these things are going to come on the earth, man. When you're going to be a public enemy. And when that stormy wind comes, if you're not fortifying your walls are going to break. When affliction and persecution come, the Lord said they are offended, man. Let me get that real quick in the book of Mark, right? Chapter 4. Let me get that real quick. Right? This is the book of St. Mark, chapter 4 and verse 17. I'm going to start at 16. St. Mark 4 and 16. And these are they likewise, which are sown on stony ground, who, when they have heard the word, immediately receive it with gladness. And a lot of brothers immediately receive it with gladness. I mean, you love the fact that you're Israel, man. You can tell the nations they're going into captivity. You feel empowered, as you should be, right? When you hear Deuteronomy 7 and 6 or 1 Chronicles 16 or 13, I mean, it boosts your self-esteem and confidence. You understand that these nations are going to be beneath you. And Yahweh Bashar Shah is going to save you. And you should feel good about those things, right? But what? The Most High said, even though you immediately received the word with gladness, what happens to a lot of Israelites? Verse 17, and have no root in themselves, and so endure for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended. You don't want to be immediately offended when his word come out, because you want to have your walls built up, right? Hey, a lot of people, man, unfortunately, right, in relationships, they have walls built up. And they build up walls because they don't want their emotions or their heart to be broken or to be let down or anything of that nature. So they'll build up these mental defense mechanisms so you can't easily win them over, man, or get to the preciousness of their love and heart, man. And some people do it because they have to do it, and some people do it because of trauma and experience, man. And some people have walls, man. You know, I'll be a sister, a brother trying to talk to, and the brother, I just can't, I don't know what it is. Then another brother, I just right? Because the brother, damn 3 minutes, man. You expect this woman to say, you know, I love you. We'll be married in a week, man. Right? And this stuff takes time, man. Now, that's how walls work in a relationship emotions. Your walls have to be fortified forever, man. When these demons come, you got to build up your walls, man. You got to be like that, man. Can't let these demons and these spirits just get to you, man. Don't just be a spiritual whore, man. You just wide open, man, for all of these demons to just have their way with you, man. That's effeminate. Just getting manipulated, man. Tossed and turned. Right? You got to hold it down, man. The Lord said you have to have your wall strong, man. So you have to know how to bridle your tongue, control your temper, right? You have to know how to discipline yourself when it comes to reading, studying, praying. Because if you don't have any temperance, you're going to fall. The brothers got it.
Con, not going to that through the spirit too. Right? I'm gonna get the classic. Get the mighty book of Galatians, chapter 5, and verse. I'm gonna start at 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, and all of these things you can do spiritually, right, against the Most High. Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulation, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So the Lord said, man, you just being uncleanliness, lasciviousness, hatred. And these things, a lot of people don't deem as that serious. You may have an alt with a sister, have an alt with a brother, and you may hate them for a season. Hey, the Lord said, he that hateth his brother without cause should be in danger of hellfire, man. Right? Hating is a big deal. Fornication, right? You could spiritually fornicate against the Most High and start to behold other gods, other breakdowns, other mysteries, other books, right? When you're going into this thing, amen, envyings, drunkenness, you could be drunk with the cares of this life and be taken out of this thing. Revelings, these things are going to keep you from the kingdom of heaven. And that's when you got to check your spirit and start to say, you know what? Let me examine all of the things in my life as a man. And then in examination, let me get this quick precept. In examination, man. And ruling, right? Let me get this real fast in the book of 2 Chronicles. It's the book of 2 Chronicles, right? Chapter 19, and I'm going to start at verse number 5, right? Talking about Jehoshaphat. And he said, judges in the land throughout all that fenced cities of Judah, city by city. So he was fortifying up his city and making sure that it was no breaches, no demons, no troubles, no problems, or any type of war where they could breach the city. So he was setting up all of the defenses once he became king, and said to the judges, take heed what ye do, for ye judge not for man, but for the Lord who is with you in the judgment. Wherefore, now let the fear of the Lord be upon you, and take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with the Lord our God, nor respect of persons, nor taking gifts. Right? Jumping down to verse number 9. And he charged them, saying, that shall ye do in the fear of the Lord faithfully and with a perfect heart. So when you do the work of the Lord and you fortify up, you understand the city, the temple, your body, right, against these demons, you have to do it with a perfect heart. Your heart can't be halfway when you come to the Lord. You have to believe with a perfect heart the things that the Most High can do for you, man. Well, let me get this other quick precept. Not only did Jehoshaphat set up cities, like fences for the cities, but he also taught the people, and he set up the people. Right? You got to set up things in your house and or to block out these demons in your spirit. Now, if drunkenness is always your main demon, you have to know how to tackle that demon, man. Right? Drunkenness always meets you at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Always meets you when you get off work, when you're tired. Right? You have a spirit to always want to have fun and indulge a little bit too much. You have to understand and know what's good for your life. It's the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 19. So like your 2 Chronicles 17 and verse right number 6. And his heart was lifted up in the ways of the Lord. A lot of brothers' heart be lifted up in the ways of their life and their cares and their lust. But Jehoshaphat's heart was lifted up in the ways of the Lord. What if he was lifted up in prayer and lifted up and going hard and reading, lifted up and going to camp? A lot of people get lifted up and watching TV shows, carnivals, festivals, going out, dancing, fun. Your heart get lifted up in vanity. Right? How like when a dog, you come home and then your dog start wagging his tail. Right? He jumped on the couch. Right? Then he jumped on your leg. Right? His heart got lifted up when you came home, huh? Right? A lot of kids, they see their mother walking through the door, their father, their heart get lifted up. Then they run in their arms. And a lot of brothers, when they see weed, drugs, women, they start to smile, laugh. Secretly, their heart and the things of this life which are wicked starts to arouse them. It lifts up their heart. When they hear about damn DMX coming to town, or he passed away. Nevertheless, right? Hey, slip of the tongue. Right? But nevertheless, brothers God.
Yeah, hey, no, some brothers still want DMX to come to town, man. Right? So Jake's mind not right, man. Right? Damn holograms, AI. Right? But you go brothers going into the works of the flesh, man. A lot of these works of the flesh, they have to be addressed too, man. Right? Fruits of the spirit, the works of the flesh, these things have to be spoken of. And I was meditating on this precept. Right? Let me get this real quick. And this is the classic in Sirach chapter 37. Right? Sirach chapter 37. And a lot of our kings, man, you got to think about it. When you're a king and you're in a position of renown and authority, you're going to be tried more because you're set up, right? You're going to be tried more by these demons due to the office and the responsibilities that you have. So Satan is going to work 10 times harder to sift you out. That's why Yahweh Shah told Peter, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, man. He didn't say that to Simon, the zealot. He didn't say that to Nathaniel. He said, Satan wants you. You're the guy that he wants. Because if he gets to you, everything else is going to fall apart. Right? So this is how we are. We're set up as kings and priests. Now let's get this in Sirach chapter 37 and 27. My son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that into it. And you have to see what's evil for your life in these days, man. You have to see, a lot of brothers, they want multiple wives. But every time they seek another wife, they end up committing adultery, or they stop reading, they stop fasting, they stop praying, they become worse and worse. And then they got to realize, hold on, maybe that's not for me. Every time I try to seek another wife, I fall away further from the Most High. Right? That's one example. Brother who's drinking. Sometimes brothers drink and they get violent. They get emotional. They get hands-on and they turn into a creep, man. Right? Or they get sad and they get depressed and they don't want to come to camp and they don't want to do the work of the Most High. They got to be there to rub their damn back. So drinking isn't for everybody. Some people, they can't I know brothers that can't have social media for various reasons, man. So they got to get rid of Instagram and social media. You got to see what's evil for your life. Now you can say, well, I don't have nothing evil for me. Well, you might be on your way out this thing. Because if you don't know what's evil for you, then all things are evil for you. Right? You got to know what's evil for you, man. You got to know what things you struggle with. You got to know, man. Everybody struggles with something. Now you say, well, I don't struggle with nothing, man. I've been a man of the Lord from my youth up. Right? Every brother, so rather you struggle with time management, rather you struggle with lust, rather you struggle with pride, rather you struggle with overcoming temptation. Everybody struggles with something. And in these last days, you better hone in on it, put that red dot on it, put it in the lens like you got a rifle on you, man, and cut it down. You got to go on the offense too, man. See, a lot of things we're going into are defense. Fasting, that's offensive, but it could be defensive. Fasting, prayer, but you got to go on the offense, man. And you got to seek out where these demons are and hunt them down and kill them. A lot of people wait till demons get on them and they react. What's the saying? You should rather be proactive than reactive, man. Right? So you want to get these demons before they get to you, man. Right? You praying on the offense that there's no spirits in your house. You're reading the word of the Most High in your household, man. Right? You're rebuking these spirits. You want to be confident in this thing, man. You casting out demons. You praying to Yahweh Bashmel Shai, rid these demons out your house. You don't wait till they come to you. You getting them, man. You're a demon hunter. You see spirits that may try to hop on a brother. You go on a fast and cut that off, man, for a brother. So these are the spirits you want to obtain in the last. You want to be on the offensive. Right? Let me get this in Ephesians real quick. Chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6. You got to be kind of aggressive in this thing, man. On a spiritual matter. Right? You got to have a Jacob spirit. You got to be willing to just take what's yours, man. Jacob was on the offense. What if Jacob just waited? Just wait till my blessing comes. Just wait till the birthright comes. He would never have gotten it, man. You got to have an offensive mentality. You got to go take it, man. And hunt these things, man. He said, I want that birthright. I want that blessing. Ain't nobody going to stop me. I'm going to go take it. That's a powerful mentality to have. Ain't no demon coming to me. I'm going to get you first, man. Right? Let me get this real quick in Ephesians. Right? Ephesians chapter 6. And you be on the offensive by being proactive, man. By seeing what's evil for your life. By building up your house so your household don't have to deal with these demons, man. You know? A lot of brothers, they let small things get to them too, man. And those small things become big things. Right? That's Sirach 19. Right? Let me get that real quick. I was going to get Ephesians 6, but let me get that real quick. Right? This is also one of my favorite precepts in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiastes chapter 19 and verse 1. A laboring man that is given to drunkenness shall not be rich, and he that contemneth small things shall fall by little and little. You don't want to contempt small things. If you start contemning small things, then you're just asking for the Most High to take the Holy Spirit from you. And to contempt small things, one example is you might say, hey, look, like I use this example all the time. Just running to the store down the street. I don't need my fringes on. Right? I think you said a brother told you that, man. I was just going somewhere. I'm only at the store.
Yep.
Right? Well, that's contemning small things. What do you mean you don't need your fringes on? You're only going to the store. You start looking at things as if they don't matter. Right? You start, you cutting your beard down a little bit. You used to tell the barber don't touch it or whatever. Now you just really don't matter. Right? Getting all up here, you cut all this off. Let a brother show up, he got all this cut now. Then all this cut. Right? Next thing you know, he damn near got a damn chin strap, man. He start contemning small things, man. He got a damn slit in his eyebrow now. He might start, not wearing his fringes. He start contemning small things. He start getting on a site. That's not that bad. It's only 2 minutes. Then 2 minutes turn to 5 minutes. Now he dealing with prostitutes. He might like to be around people that smoke weed, man. I'm only around them. I'm not smoking it. Right? Just I'm here to teach them the word. A lot of brothers, you always said I'm showing them the word. Reverend Tony and Dre, who blowing weed smoke in your face, you're not listening to the word, man. So now you're hanging around Rel and Drake, man. Next thing you know, you're not smoking weed. You're smoking PCP. Now you're not smoking PCP. Now you're smoking a crack. You start contemning small things, it's going to turn to a big thing. You might have a woman that says, I don't have to call my husband Lord. It's not that big of a deal. You start, then the Most High put a spirit on you, man. You start calling him Ak, bro, sup. You know what I'm saying? Sup, And then the Most High start giving you over to these demons, man. Everything matters in this truth. Everything matters in this truth. So you have to look at the small things that are evil for you too, man. It could be you damn oversleeping, man. Because you were supposed to read, and then you didn't forget to read, or you forgot to read. It could have been you're supposed to fast at 7 p.m., but you said, I'll do it at 9 p.m. You better figure out what happened, man. So you gotta look at yourself under a microscope. Look at yourself under a microscope and see what are those small things. Those small things are going to become big things. Right? People go to dermatologists and stuff, and they look under their pores, and it's little things. And if they don't tackle that, it might be a little thing right there to turn to a rash. Then a rash would turn to a damn flesh-eating disease, man. So you want to tackle it before it spreads. And you want to examine yourself thoroughly to see if there's anything that's about to spread like a disease. Right? But brothers, God.
God. It says let me bring this over real quick. Can brothers hear me?
God.
It says in Ephesians chapter 3, verse 1, For this cause, I, Paul, the prisoner of Yahushua HaMashiach, right? And that's more so spiritual than literal, right? You don't just become a prisoner by putting handcuffs on you and going to jail. In this context, he's referring to himself as spiritually submitting under Yahushua, right? Under Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And we are in subjection or submissive. That means there's a certain role that you have to play, right? On the right-hand side, I'm not saying you fake the funk, but there is certain duties that you have to fulfill when you submit yourself under Yahweh Shai, right? You have to read more, study. Brothers have gone well into it. There's a lot of things that you have to actually hold yourself accountable by. And so when you call yourself a prisoner of Yahweh Shai, you can't even say that loosely, because you don't want to be a prisoner. And then, at night, you take off the chains, you take off the yoke, and you unband yourself, and you freak off into the night, and right before the morning crack, put it back on. Say, I'm a prisoner again. You're just double-minded and lukewarm, right? If you call yourself being an Israelite, being in this truth, loving Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, right? A prisoner of Yahweh Shai, you don't want to take off the bands and take off the yoke, when it seems convenient unto you, right? Because at one time you take it off, maybe the last time you have it off. And if you're not under subjection unto Yahweh Shai, then you are definitely under subjection unto another person or spirit or entity. And the scriptures speak about that. Let me grab this other one. You got the account, and let me just bring it out. It's a lot I want to get. Just want to ask. And it reads this. Acts chapter 17, verse 20. God, for thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know, therefore, what these things mean. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear something new, getting ready and prepared to be subject unto something other doctrine or philosophy, anything that which is contrary to Yahweh Shai. And that's a lot of Israel, right? And it starts with you condemning the small. It's like you're not condemning the small things, not focusing on the small things. That one little video that Christian breaking down John 3:16, you want to just watch it just to laugh at it, but I mean, now you're watching it and you nodding your head. That's a good point. The Lord did say everybody. Let me go to church and try to rebuke these spirits. Next thing you know, you're rebuking like this, and it starts turning into a clap. And you shaking your head and you shucking and jiving. You shaking a hand and then you kind of doing this in the church. We've seen brothers do it. We've seen just about everything, almost. That's all I was going to get.
God, and what's going to keep you rooted? See, Yahweh Shai, he's the master of exhortation, right? Not only Yahweh Shai was, he's all. You understand? He was given a spirit without measure. He prophesied, right? He exhibited compassion and love. He was a master of the law, right? He was a teacher. He performed miracles. He was an apostle sent from the third heaven, right? One of the key things Yahweh Shai did was constantly exhort Israel, right? Now, one of the things he said, and this is something that brothers have to also understand is important. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse, this whole 2 and 4. I'm going to read 3. I'm going to start at 2. Right, this Revelation 2 and 2. It's against the church of Ephesus. And again, when you read these 7 churches, right, Smyrna, Thyatira, Pergamos, etc., there was things that Yahweh Shai that he saw that was well in them, things they did well, But then he would always say there's something that he had against them, right? And that's against all of us. There are things that Yahweh Shah may see well in you. But then there are also things that have to be improved. You have to always have that mentality. I have to improve. Where can I grow? What can I do better? What can we do more? What can I do more for Yahweh Bashim? How can I increase? And that, you want to have that mind. You want to have a student mentality too, right? That lowly mind of where can I improve? Because if you keep that mentality, you'll always find something to work on. Right? There's always like a project. You got guys, okay, I fixed the car. I want to fix the 1973 Oldsmobile. Okay, I've done that. Okay, now I want to work on the 1985 Mustang. Then they do that. Then they buy the damn 19. Okay, I never did the damn Chrysler. Let me do a 19 so-and-so Chrysler. And I want to take this speaker out, put this one in, and put a new. They always got something they working on, man. You go over to your house and they always got a blue tarp over a new car, man. Well, what's that one? Well, now I'm working on I'm working on this one now. You might pull up, check on them. They slide from under the car, under that damn scooter, that back scooter. It may not be called a back scooter, but they slide from under that back scooter and they working on the damn thing, man. Right? They got grease all on them. They get up, what's going on? Because they're always working on a project. They're always trying to improve something, man. Get up, they got grease on them. Let me wash my hands. Right, I was just working on the damn transmission or something, man. That's how you want to be in this truth, right? You want to be like they call them, I think they call them grease monkeys, man, or something like that, right? They call them grease monkeys, car heads, man, stuff like that. They're always into projects and fixing cars. You want to be like that in your spirit, man. You're always working on something. 1 minute you working on fasting more, right? A gearhead, that's what it is. The brother said gearhead, right? The next minute you working on reading more, man. You're going from 5 chapters to 7 chapters. Then the next minute you might be working on your health, man. Getting your health right so you could, have more endurance out there. Then the next minute you working on something else. You want to have that mentality, right? So this is Ephesians 2:2. I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars. So they were doing things well. They put, false apostles to flight. They were well studied. They worked hard. They labored. Right? Verse 3. And has borne and has patience. For my name's sake, has labored and has not fainted. And that's a lot of brothers, man. You're laboring and you haven't fainted yet. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. Remember, therefore, from whence thou art fallen, and repent and do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. So the Most High said, nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. If you aren't trying to fall in love all over again, or if you're falling out of love, and your marriage is growing stale, and you and wisdom are sleeping in 2 beds in the same room, right? Y'all don't flirt anymore. Y'all are distant. Y'all don't converse how y'all used to talk. Now y'all are short. You and the wisdom are short with one another, man. Like an old marriage couple. How you doing? I'm doing good. How was work? It was cool. Going downstairs to work on my train set. Okay, I'm talking to Shirley. Okay, bye. You don't want no relationship like that with wisdom, huh? Be some old creep working on your train set downstairs and she up there talking to damn Shirley all night, huh? You might see him in the kitchen, right? He go make some coffee, she go and do whatever. With wisdom, you want to be in love. You want to be in your what is that when you first together? Your cup. They call it your cup. It's a cupcake. cupcake stage?
Honeymoon phase.
Honeymoon stage. What is it?
It's a honeymoon phase stage.
Yeah, your honeymoon when you caking, man. Well, that's what we used to say. You caking. Jake you caking on the phone. Right? That's the brother that's on his phone with his woman all day, man. Right? It might be the brother's doing something. It's a brother. It's a brother I know, right? Brother's laboring in where's he at? North Carolina, man. Right? We're not gonna put the brother out there, but we in North Carolina. All right, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, we was down in North Carolina doing the work. His brother duck off every 5 minutes. He caking, man. He caking on the phone. Brothers doing their thing. There might be a game of spades going on. Brothers kicking it right after camp or something like that. The brother got to duck off. He sent up there. Yeah, babe. I miss you too. Yeah. I'll be there soon. I'll be there. Right? Mm-hmm. And then what happened? Right? And you don't want to, you want to be like that with wisdom, huh? Every minute you got to duck off and get a precept in. Hold on, I'll be back. You got to duck off. Proverbs 23. Okay, I'll be back. Right? You want to be ravished with this thing, man. Right? You got it. Brothers got it.
And that's what the Most High give you a brotherhood, right? Because every brother's going to have a talent. And at least in every brotherhood, camp, or congregation, house, you should have one that has the spirit of exhortation, because exhortation goes a long way. Exhortation can deliver you from death. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 12. As touching our brother Apollos, I greatly desired him to come unto you with the brethren, but his will was not at all to come at this time, but he will come when he shall have convenient time. So Paul wanted this man Apollos to come to these brothers, right, with other brothers, to kind of, stir up their spirit through the spirit. However, the spirit withheld them. They had other matters to attend to. But as you keep reading, it says this: watch, yea, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men, be strong. Let all your things be done with charity. And he says, I beseech you, brethren, yea, know the house of Stephanus, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, and that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints. So these men, they addicted themselves to the ministry of saints. They always want to make sure that these brothers presented themselves as a virgin before the Lord. And not only that, they slack it that ye submit yourselves unto such, and to every one that helpeth us and laboreth. I am glad of the coming of Stephanus and Fortunus and Achaeus, that slack it for that which was lacking on your part, they have supplied. So whatever may have been lacking on your part, now is supplied through another brother. Right? And that brother, he may have a dream for you. He may have some counsel for you. He may have some wisdom for you. He may have been in a similar situation just to kind of exhort you, to put you in a better situation. And that's exactly why you need a brotherhood through the spirit. You got a lot of solo lights, single lights. We've heard it all, right? I can't think of the other terms, but nevertheless, you have a lot of brothers that may want to be alone. And that's never the best. That's never the best solution. Right? The Lord said, where two or three are gathered in my name, then I'm in the midst of them. Not to say the Most High can't be working on your own, but a threefold cord is not quickly broken. And so we see the benefits in the scriptures of having a brotherhood, having that exhortation, and having that it's like, again, having that exhortation to be mighty in this thing.
Come on. And going into what brothers are going into, right? The Most High remembers how you was in His truth in the beginning, and you don't want to lose that zeal and that that way of understanding, what you once did, as you continue to grow in this thing and or be aged in the truth. You don't want to just fall away slowly. Right? Let me get this quick precept in the book of Mark. Right? It's the book of Mark, chapter 11, and verse number 12. It says, and on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off having leaves, he came, if happily he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Yahushua answered and said unto it, no man eateth fruit on thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. And you don't never know when the Lord is going to come to you, man, and desire that fruit. You don't have 15 years, man. You don't have 45 days. The Most High may visit you tonight. And the things which you have promised him and or vowed and or what he requires from you, if you're not bringing forth that fruit, and you could wither away, man. He could curse you, right, and do away with you. Right, reading on, jump into verse number 20. And in the morning as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. You don't want to be dried up from the roots. How was this tree dried up? Because the Lord gives the water. He gives the living waters, clear as crystals, proceeding from the throne. Right, and as you continue to get that water, it's going to do what? It's going to yield for fruit, and you're going to grow as a man in this thing. But if you get dried up, then the Lord has cut you off from the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, zeal, prophecy, might, exhortation, faith, and everything that he will give you. Now you start to wither away. You start to not believe. You start to not care. You start to just don't give a damn. Right? Your mind starts to drift away. Your spirit starts to not really be ravished as it once was. Hey, brothers were so on fire when they first came into this truth. They were doing God knows what, man. Reading 24/7. Right? They were fasting days at a time, asking questions. Right? I mean, who hasn't got on the comment board, man, when they first came into this thing, man? That's not what that's talking about. Right? You sitting up there, just can't stop the zeal. Can't stop typing. Can't stop trying to debate. Can't stop calling. Can't stop having Bible studies. Right? You was really in this thing to the point where you feel like you'll never fall away. You'll never drift away. The Most High is dealing with you, man. But over time, you start to do what? You start to get complacent. You start to think that, you know what, I'm solidified, I'm rooted, I'm grounded, I'm in this thing. And you start to stop going as hard as you once did, man. True champions go harder, right, what they call their peak, but their prime. They go harder in their prime than they do their beginning, man. True athletes do. Right? Michael Jordan, LeBron James. LeBron James still pushing to this very time. He's not just a rookie trying to just show that he needs to be solidified in the NBA. That's something to prove, spirit. No, he's going he's going at his peak, right, towards the prime and or end of his career. Kobe, right? You have to have that champion-like mentality and the push, not just in the beginning, but towards the middle and or end. This is a race. It says, and in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter calling to remembrance, saying unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree, which thou cursest, is withered away. And see how it said withered away? Because when you wither, it takes time, huh? People die on their deathbed, they start to lose weight. Their skin starts to get dull. It starts not to shine like it used to. Your hair gets brittle. You stop eating the way you used to. You stop caring for the things that you once did, as in watching TV. Now you're napping all day. You're just withering away. And that's how people are in the spirit. They're spiritually on their deathbed, and just day by day, they're waxing worse and worse. And the only thing that's going to prevent that, obviously the Lord, but it's what? It's examination. The Lord's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, showing all of the secret things. And every time I see the sun, right, at least 8 times out of 10, I think of that precept. Because you can't even look at the sun. You can't even glance at the sun more than 2 seconds. And the eyes of the Most High is 10,000 times brighter than that. And how is he looking at you? Right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, and verse number 2. Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousal, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness. Right? We used to chase the Lord, man. Right? We used to chase the Lord and watch videos and rushing home, rushing to read. I remember those things, man. Right? You said I have a date night. Okay, I'm gonna read this tonight. All right, I'm picking up in the book of 2 Samuel. Before brothers read the 2 Samuel, it was a movie, man. Right? I mean, I read the 2 Samuel, praise to the Most High. But before I did, it was like I had a date, man. I had to sit down, I had to open it back up. And I was ravished, and I said, what is going to happen next? What is David going to do next? What's going to be the end all be all with Saul? Right? How is this thing going to kick off? Who else are our enemies? What else is going to kick off from the book of 2 Samuel? Right? So the Lord said, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown, Israel was holiness unto the Lord. Meaning when we first came out of Egypt, we went after the Lord. But over time and following him, what did we do? We got tired. We started to murmur. Where are we going? What are we doing? Soon as we came out of Egypt, what did we do? We would celebrate. Dancing, timbrels, song, dance. That's majority the beginning of this truth, man. Song, dance, celebration. The Lord has delivered you out of the mouth of the beast, man. Babylon, through her customs, her religion, this system, right, has brought you right to follow him. But as you start to follow him, you understand the affliction, the bitterness, right, the harsh studying and the retaining knowledge. And if you're not strong in this thing, you start to wax feeble and weak. It says Israel was holiness unto the Lord, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him, right, so like it shall offend, evil shall come upon them, saith the Lord. So you got to understand from the beginning, right, when we followed the Lord, that we followed him with a pure heart, ravishly, and we wanted to follow right into the kingdom, into the promised land, right, to the land that was not sown, that we was going to tread down our enemies in and take, right? So you have to understand the same way with the spirit, right? We can't lose that.
Right, and we're married to Yahushua, right? We're married to Yahweh Bashmel. We're a woman parabolically that's espoused and married to our Lord, right? And remember, as a man, on another level, you're married to wisdom, right? And the Most High said you're supposed to be ravished always with this thing. So you got to tap into, and I was looking up. When you look this up, I'm gonna read just maybe three of them. These are signs of a stale marriage, right? Now I'm speaking parabolically, right? Lack of intimacy, having an affair, communication issues, infidelity, trust is gone. You stop spending time together, right? Feeling disconnected from one another. You hardly communicate anymore, right? And that's how brothers are with wisdom, man. Right? That's how brothers are with you're having an affair. Who are you having an affair with? Netflix. You're having an affair with another book. You're having an affair with it could be an actual woman with another demon, another spirit. And now, a lot of times, these women, they know you having an affair, man. The Most High, they start finding stuff, a piece of hair on the damn, they hanging up your shirt and put in the thing, it's a piece of hair right there, man. Or they look on your collar, it's a damn lipstick thing on your collar. You came in, you smell like, some type of perfume, and your woman don't wear that. They start figuring stuff out because you don't really, touch them, or you don't really talk to them anymore. And you must be having an affair. And wisdom can perceive that better than a regular woman. Man, wisdom knows when you're having an affair. And wisdom is going to leave you, man. See, wisdom has little tolerance for you and your BS. See, a woman, she'll put up with it. You might have been with her for 5 years, 10 years. She might have held it down. You might have got locked up. You might have, she might have had your children or something. You're probably moved out, then moved in, and y'all been through stuff, man. So y'all got like this bond where you can kind of mess up, and she'll still kind of hold it down, right? But wisdom, she don't have too much time, man. Right? Let me get this in Ecclesiasticus. And if you're not right, wisdom is out of there, man. Right? Wisdom is looking to leave. She will. Hey, what's that? 1 Corinthians 7, man. She will depart. A brother or sister is not under bondage, man. Right? This is Ecclesiasticus. So you don't want to lose wisdom, man. Because once a woman is done with you mentally and emotionally, you're not going to get her back. You calling her, you texting her. She's already done. See, women, they'll leave you mentally and emotionally before they leave you physically. They'll be with you physically and they'll be in your house, whatever, but they mind, they're already gone. You might be looking for a way to get out of there. They on their way to commit adultery, or they looking to move out. They out, man. So you better check and see what's going on with you in wisdom, man, to rekindle your marriage, because she might be on her way out of here, man. And if she on her way out of here, you ain't gonna get her back. So you need to stop having these affairs and communicate and get your marriage right with wisdom, man. Because she's looking to make moves. Right? This is Ecclesiasticus, right? I want the 6th chapter. And I want verse. Let's start at 20. Right? I'm just read 19. Right? This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and 19. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth and wait for her good fruits. Yeah, like Jacob, right? Jacob plowed, he sowed 7 years, and he labored for his wife. You have to labor and plow and work to receive wisdom, right? She got to see, if you're worthy. For thou shalt not toil much and laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned, and he that is without understanding will not remain with her. Yeah, because if you're unlearned, wisdom is going to, like any woman, a woman might have expectations, huh? She might have realistic expectations and standards. And she might want you to, hey, look, if you want me to follow you, if you want me to, submit to you, here's, what I require. You can't be out here freaking off in the streets. You can't be out here with Dre and Rail. You can't be out here. I need you to guide me and lead me in righteousness. If you want me to follow you, I need to know exactly where you're going, how long it's going to take, and what you're going to provide and bring to the table. See, to an unlearned fool, she trying to control me. A wise man, okay, I can deal with that. And wisdom, she got expectations, man. But if you're unlearned, you're going to think it's burdensome. It reads, she will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. Give ear, my son, receive my advice, refuse not my counsel, and put thy feet into her fetters and thy neck into her chain. Bow down thy shoulder and bear her, and be not grieved with her bonds. Yeah, because a lot of brothers hate commitment, man. Right? You hate commitment to a woman, man. Right? And that's how brothers are with wisdom. You got to commit to wisdom and hold it down, man. That's how you know these scriptures are for men. Not saying that women can't read the scriptures, but a lot of this, brothers can understand. Right? Verse 20. Come unto her with thy whole heart, and keep her ways with all thy power. So wisdom is likened to a woman, and the Most High said a certain brother is going to be too grievous. He's going to cast wisdom away, man. Right? So wisdom is very important to you staying rooted. And like Rod said, it's like a date night, man. Sometimes, your marriage might be growing stale or something. You might have to take your woman out. You might take her to the spot where y'all first met. Maybe it was your first date or something. You might do something spontaneous. Hey, it might be spontaneous. You might have to call out of work. Hey, now you're getting into these scriptures, man. Right? You do something spontaneous, and your woman might like that, man. Wisdom likes that, man. So you got to get into this thing and rekindle your marriage, right? And rekindle your marriage in this truth, because it's going to get bad. Oh yeah, go ahead, King. Salaki.
God, bring this out real quick. It says in Sirach chapter 18, verse 30, go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. Right? And Jake be having an appetite. They always got that spirit and mind of what else is out there? They see
Right.
that other woman for a few seconds, and her mind just goes to the moon, straight to the moon, like, and you start envisioning your whole life with her, and wondering like what she can do, what can she teach me, or what can I do with her? You know, that's where Jake mind goes when they see that other woman, right? So although you may have an appetite, that doesn't mean you have to engage in it and indulge in it. You know, if thou givest thy soul and desires that, it's like if thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee, right? And again, this woman can represent a lot of things. This woman can be, of course, doctrine, but like the brothers keep saying, Netflix. Some brothers may binge watch. Some brothers may eat. Oh, there go that chicken wing. And you don't need it, brother. You're just giving your soul over to that chicken wing, that old ass chicken wing that's in the refrigerator. It's 2 days old. Let me just get it. I mean, where does it end? If you're going to do that with food, what else are you capable of? It says in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5, verse 4. For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. That's plain upon tables. Even so much, even on a physical level, right? And the brothers mentioned it. You know, you Eve, she's gonna know if you got a spirit on you. She's gonna realize. Even in the world, they may call it woman's intuition, so called. She's like, "What's wrong with you? What's up? You all right?" She asking because something wrong with you. And he like, yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I just got a headache. Yeah, I'm straight. Knowing damn well it's a demon on you, a spirit on you, right? And she may not want to talk to you because she's just not fessing up. She knows what's going on. You just don't want to say nothing. So even so with wisdom, verse 5, for the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. Right? In what situation would a woman want to dwell with a man when he's just being completely unstable? His mind's over the place. He's without wisdom. He's not reading, no discipline, no guidance, not even a precept, not even a read a chapter with her. Just read by yourself. I got something to do real quick. And that's something to do is eating a damn 8-piece pizza. Whatever Jake is into. I don't know. So that's why it says, this will be the last one in Revelation 3:18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. You don't want the shame of your nakedness just appearing. The Lord already said, hate the garment spotted by the flesh. And sometimes, brothers, you may have that holy garment just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until you're naked, you're butt ass naked. You figure out what happened. And it reads, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. So you got to be able to perceive and see things. You got to be able to see that spot. You got to be able to see that wisdom not really dwelling with you. You got to be able to see all these things, which is why the scriptures speak of being circumspect, meaning being able to see your surroundings. You have to ask yourself, have I been circumspect today? Have I noticed my household has been in this spirit, or I've been in that spirit, or I haven't been doing this, or she hasn't been doing that? That's what it means to be circumspect. Did I realize that was that spirit that jumped on me today? Or am I going to brush it off to the side?
Con. Yeah, so I mean, at the end of the day, when this destruction kick off, and brothers are making beautiful points, man. These bombs are about to drop, right? War is about to kick off. Famine is about to, happen, man. There's one thing to talk about these things, and we could talk about what's going to come all day long, but we have to know how we're going to prepare ourselves, safeguard our spirits, our households, and do what's pleasing in the eyes of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, so you can receive the mercy from the Most High. Yaradan brings a precept out all the time in Luke, the 7th chapter, man. Right? The saint Whom the Lord loveth little, the same is forgiven little, greatly paraphrasing. Huh? So you want to show to the Most High in sincerity how much you love the Most High, right? Based off of your labor and based off of your works, even if you have a little. Even a woman cast in 2 mites in Mark the 12th chapter. And the Lord said that was greater. Let me get that real quick. Because you may have 2 mites, man. You may not have 10 talents. You may not have infinite levels of understanding, right? Which no man in the mortal bodies do. But you want to cast in all that you have, man, right? This is the book of St. Mark, chapter 12 and verse 41. And Yahushua sat over against the treasury. And behold, how the people cast much money into the treasury. And many that were rich cast in much. You got a lot of many men that are rich. They got 10 talents. You got many camp leaders, many prophets, many apostles, and they are casting in much, man. They're setting up camps, they're doing the work, teaching the people, and they're spiritually rich. And they're casting in their talents to this treasury, man, that Yahushua can receive them by trading at his return. Right? Reading on. And there came a certain poor widow, and she threw in 2 mites, which make a farthing. And he called unto him his disciples, and said unto them, verily I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast more in than all they which have cast into the treasury. For all they did cast in of their abundance, but she of her want did cast in all that she had, even all her living. So her 2 mites was all her living, right? She put her whole life into the treasury. That's what it's saying, man. That's making your body a living sacrifice. If she didn't have those 2 mites, she would die. She wouldn't be able to eat and have the necessities of life, which is written, food, shelter. You understand? The Lord said, having food and raiment, let us therewith be content. The necessities or the chief things in a man's life is what? It's listed, man. Sirach the 36th chapter, the 22nd chapter. Right? So you want to be able to have that spirit when you cast in all that you have, man. And like they say, even for those who may have played sports or athletics, they say leave it all on the table. Or they say we're going to leave it all on the field. Everybody leave it all on the field. All your strength, all of your sacrifice, everything we work for, we're going to leave it all on the field. Some people say they're going to have to carry me off the field, man. You know? There was a famous basketball player that said that, man. Can't remember his name, but he said, I want to play the game till they have to carry me off the court. Now, the other guy was like, look, I want to walk off the court. This guy said, I want them to carry me off the court. Right? So, hey, guess what? We don't know what was going to happen to that woman. We know the Most High took care of her. But the point is, even a little that she had, she cast it all in. And that was her life. So the little that we have, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding, you might know a precept, you might know a breakdown, you might know a lot. You got to cast it all in. You got to cast it all in faith, knowing that there's a reward to come. Brothers, God.
Con, that's right. That's right. Let me get this quick precept too. Right? This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 4, and verse. I'm gonna start at 1. It says, now there was a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, thy servant, my husband is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord. And the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. Right? So she cried out, right, to the prophets. In her estate, it says, and Elisha said unto her, what shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in thine house? And she said, thy handmaid have not anything in the house, save a pot of oil. Right, that precept the brother brought out made me think of this account. Because you may not have a lot, but you still give what it is that you have. She didn't have anything in her house but a pot of oil. You may not have anything in your house but your scriptures, man. That's all you need to comfort you. Like the Lord said, man, in Maccabees. The Holy Scriptures to comfort us. It says, and when it's like, and he said, go borrow the vessel abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. So she had faith, but she also had works right along with her faith. She didn't have anything but a pot of oil, right? But nevertheless, she had faith. And in her faith, right? The Lord provided her somebody to help her, right? And she had works along with it. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but when you diving into it, you may not have much. But the Most High is not dealing with who has the most. He's dealing with what you're going to use and what you're going to have and what you're going to do with what you have. Or you may have little, right? But nevertheless, you got to push and go hard with what little you have. And the Lord said in Revelations, thou hast but little strength, right? But thou hast not denied my name. Paraphrasing great. Right, let me get this real quick. It's the book, right, of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse, I'm going to start at 8. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut. For thou hast a little strength. And you may have a little strength. That's all you need. Right? It's that mustard seed, a little strength. But a little strength isn't a double-minded little strength. You have a whole mentality that the Lord could be with you, guide you, protect you, right, and be there, your stay and your refuge, or whether you have little strength in what you're doing, but you believe that the Most High is going to be with you. No man can shut it, for thou hast a little strength and has kept my word and has not denied my name. So no matter what goes on, leading up to the days that we've been reading about, right, we can't deny the Most High. And whether we have much strength or little, it has to be in the Most High. My brother's got it.
God. And really, everything that brothers are going into, these things have to be meditated on and applied, man. Right? The Lord said, let me get this real quick in 1 Timothy, right? 1 Timothy 4. When Yahweh said, Salakia, missing the page out of there. When Yahweh said he's coming like a thief in the night, that's real, man. Right? When he said, for in such an hour as he think not, the Son of Man cometh, that's real. Right? This is 1 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 13. I'm gonna start at 12. 1 Timothy 4 and 12. Let note this, what the Apostle Paul charged Timothy, right? Timothy was set up over various churches, right? Ephesus and many other places. Let no man despise thy youth, but be thou an example of the believers in word and conversation and charity and spirit and faith and purity. And that's another mentality you have to have. You have to have a be an example mentality, right? Even if you're by yourself, man, the Most High is watching you, man. When you're out in public, you have to be an example. That's what leaders are. Leaders set an example, right? So if you're looking to rule over 10 cities, 5 cities, you have to set the example about how you're supposed to conduct yourself, right? It reads, till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, till doctrine. Now that's what Paul told Timothy, till I come. But now we're looking at this is, okay, Yahweh Shah is on a far journey, and until he comes, we have to give attendance to reading, right? To exhortation, to doctrine. So brothers have to make sure they're reading. And reading, like what brothers are going into, it shouldn't be a chore, shouldn't be a burden. You should want to get into this thing, man. Right? You should be excited to read. And if you're not excited to read, that's something worth praying about, man. Why has the joy of reading and Yahweh Shai supping with you being taken away from you? Because that's all it is. It's you supping with Yahweh Shai. Imagine having contempt that Yahweh Shai is making you this feast. Oh, to this feast. You're just standing up the Lord, man. Like some cheap date, at the bowling alley, man. Right? Or the damn movie theaters. You can't just stand up the Lord, man. He has all of this great mess of food prepared for you, man. And every time you look at your Bible, you're supposed to read, and you pick up your phone and scroll or freak off and do God knows what, Yahweh Shai, you're just standing him up, man. You're just sitting up there. And he'll move on to the next man. Then you might want to go back there. The food is gone. Right? So you have to give attendance to reading, to exhortation. Exhortation is encouragement, right? To your fellow brethren, to your household, and to doctrine. Make sure you're on point with the doctrine. So when these seducing spirits don't come around, or when they come around, you can stand 10 toes down to defend the doctrine. Neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given to thee by prophecy with the laying on of the hands of the presbytery. So the elders laid hands on Timothy, and the Most High stirred up the gift that was in him. We all have gifts in us, Don't neglect the gift that's in you. If you don't know what the gift is, inquire of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 15. Meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. So you have to meditate. That's another thing about this thing, man. You have to meditate like our fathers meditated, through examination, meditate on the doctrine, the precepts, and the Lord said, give yourself wholly to it, 100%, until everything that was mentioned and said that your profiting, meaning your growth in its truth, may appear unto all, right? So that's extremely important when it comes to how to survive. It's the reading, the exhortation, the doctrine, the meditation. These are things that are often overlooked. And if you overlook it, it's going to be detrimental to you. Right, brothers, God?
You got a yard down if you got some.
Grab this in Genesis. It's like Genesis chapter 24, verse. That's okay. I grabbed the other one, classic. And brothers may hear it twice, but that's okay. It's Luke 7 and 47. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins which are many are forgiven, for she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. And he said unto her, thy sins are forgiven. You know, again, I still think about this every day. I still think about that every day. That's deep, because you got to ask yourself, how much do you love the Lord in these last days? You know, when all odds are against you, or at least that's when it feels like, you know, when it comes to catching hell, you know, your rib may be mad at you. You may have lost your job. You had a terrible day at work. Traffic was long. You came home and your rib didn't cook you what you wanted. You know, you couldn't sleep at night. Your body aching. You know, despite the things that you go through, how much are you still going to love the Lord, regardless of what's going on in your life? There's no telling what this sister was doing, or, you know, what her condition was prior to meeting Yahweh Shai. But yet she still performed all the beautiful acts of service and righteousness and love. And so, you know, after your long day of not worrying, but, you know, fighting the world, you got to ask yourself, you know, when it's just you in that room, am I going to love the Lord at this moment? And I'm going to love my first love? You know, that's something you should ask yourself every night. Am I going to love the Lord today? You know, yeah, it's mighty to remember the precepts, the accounts, the history, the dates, but fall back into that practical knowledge as well, and actually asking yourself simple things, such as, will I love the Lord? Have I loved my brothers? But with that, I yield.
Con. Right, you got anything else?
Con.
Oh, go ahead, King.
Con, you got it, King.
No, yeah, I'm gonna get Revelation, the 22nd chapter.
Okay, Con. Right. I'm just about to bring out Revelation 2.
Con. This is Revelation chapter 22 and verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. So, like we constantly go into, and like Yahweh Shai went into constantly as well, the manner of time that Yahweh Shai is coming is going to be when you least expect it, right? All hell is going to break loose when you least expect it. Rather, it's an economic collapse, the stock market crash, nuclear missiles begin to hit, tanks and military operations, civil war. These things are going to happen when you least expect it. So you want to make sure that you are weighing your works in the balance and seeing, are the wicked works slowly, because we're all off, but you want to make sure that you're abating those wicked works, man. Like the flood, right? The waters abated, man, and a dry land appeared, right? So you should be having the wickedness in you abate, man, that the growth and the grass may appear, and your righteousness should be increasing, man. Right? Your righteousness, your works, your zeal, you should be growing in this thing, And the Most High is going to give unto every man according as his work shall be. You know, and like I went into a cold cut not too long ago, not everybody's going to be equal in the kingdom, man. So even if we do make it, not everybody's going to be equal, man. Some men are going to be least in the kingdom. Some men are going to be 1 to the 12. Some men are going to be over 5 cities, 10 cities. And you want to go for it all. You want to go for it all, man. Don't be the brother that say, well, I just want to make it, but I kind of want to make it, but I just want a little patch of land in the damn on the damn island somewhere, man. And damn Greece. I don't want to live in Jerusalem. I just want a little land in Greece. I want 2 slaves. I'm gonna tell you something right now, man. If I make it, Lord willing, if the Most have mercy on me, I want to be in Jerusalem, man. And I want to rule over 10 cities. I don't want it. If I make it, I don't want a little land over there in Greece, man. With 1 slave. We going for it all, man. We going for the gold, right? We going, like they say, we going for 2. You might have a game, but we going for 2. We're not going for the tie. We're not going to foul them. Let's just go for the tie. We ain't going to run the ball out. We ain't going to run the clock out. We going for it all, man. We putting it all on the line, right? So that's the spirit and the mentality you want to have, man. Right? But brothers got it.
Khan is right. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3, and verse number 2. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, who have not found our works perfect before God. Right? And if you're watching, then you're going to understand the times that we're living in. If you're not watching, you're going to be more relaxed and falling away in this world. So, I mean, watching is going to dictate the spirit you're in too, man. If you're a watcher and you see all hell breaking loose, right? You see horsemen, lanterns, swords, bucklers, and men, right? You're going to sound the alarm. And your spirit is going to change, right? And the whole inhabitant of the city is going to change. But if you don't see anything, you might fall asleep. You may not keep watching. So, I mean, watching, it's a spirit on that, man. You want to continue to watch, that it may uplift your spirit, exhortate your spirit, and have you to understand what manner of times we're living in the last days. It says, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. And no matter what you do, no man could just say, I'm perfected and I have no more work to do. You don't want to be that man, right? In Luke, right, that said, I've laid up treasures for many years, paraphrasing greatly. I will take my ease and I will take my rest. And that's the type of man that have done a little bit where he felt like he's done a lot and has fallen away by the work which he have done. You don't want to build and think that you have completed your building when there's more to be built. There's more to conquer in this thing, man. There's more to do. But we just getting started. Right, most are willing this place gets destroyed and we don't wax old in a strange land. But peradventure, no matter how this thing goes or how much time we got left, hey, we just getting started in this thing. Our hands just touched the plow. Right, we just getting started. We just getting rolling. It says, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right, so continue to watch, be diligent, steadfast, and on fire. Brothers got it.
With that,
On mute, King.
count the water. With that, you may see we're going to take questions for those who want to call in. 213-603-9096, and the PIN number is 94809-305. Right, and you should see that on the screen. Right, but with that, brother Naquan,
Shalom, brother. Right.
Brother Yardon.
from Yashalom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.